Hey guys, how's it going? This is the Bald Metal Nerd coming at you with another video. In this video, I have a little guest here. It's my dog Shaker. He's not feeling so well right now, so it's hurting a little bit. I got a heating pad on him. You know, seems to feel better with that on, so he's just sitting here with me. This video will probably get more views than others, just based on this, right? Who can say no to this? Anyway, the topic of this video is I'm saying Rand Paul's an idiot. And why am I saying this? Well, um, here's Rand Paul's comments about Bernie Sanders. He says, I think it's very important for Americans not to succumb to the notion that there's anything sexy or cool about socialism. Bernie's a socialist, and ultimately, socialism relies on force or implied force. And it wasn't an accident that Stalin killed millions of people, or Mao Zedong killed millions of people, because you want to control the economy and you want to control ownership of things by the state. You have to forbid other people from owning parts of the economy or controlling parts of the economy. So I think it's really important that people understand there's no free lunch. When Bernie offers you something for free, he's going to take it from somebody else first, and then all they're doing is obscuring who pays for it. But ultimately, somebody has to pay for these things. And so, if you want free college, for those that go to college, those that don't go to college and work will be paying for your college. So nothing's really on the surface. What appears to be free isn't free. Basically, my reaction to that is he's comparing Bernie Sanders to some of the worst dictators of the 20th century. That's what he's doing. That sentiment just shows his complete ignorance about A, Bernie Sanders' policies, and B, history and the current state of the world. Basically, I guess we'll hit on the first thing. He said that people who work will have to pay for the free college. Well, if you actually listen to what Bernie Sanders said about the free college, it was he wanted to put a tax on Wall Street speculation to pay for it. So it's not exactly the average Joe who's going to be paying this thing. It's going to be rich assholes who have more money than just about anybody. Even Donald Trump said these guys can afford to pay more. Donald Trump said that. I'll be talking about Donald Trump here in a second, but come on, guys, it's come on. And I have bad news for you, Mr. Paul or Senator Paul, whatever. The United States is already a quasi-socialistic country anyway. We have Social Security, we have Medicare, we have police, roads, fire, all sorts of things paid for by society. Oh no! So basically, it's just a very silly thing to demonize socialism entirely. Now, of course, having no private industry, no private ownership, nothing like that. If everything's controlled by the state, that's an absolute goddamn disaster. And it's worth having the debate. What should be, what should be socially based, and what should be privately based. It's worth having that debate, and that's totally fine. Having a debate about what should the limitations of this be. I think that's perfectly acceptable. But to paint it all as like dictatorship is just frankly ridiculously silly, and just shows ignorance and stupidity on his part. And I think this mentality is why all of the traditional politicians, at least on the Republican side, are faring so poorly in the polls. Nobody gives really much of a shit about Jeb Bush, Rand Paul, Marco Rubio, and there are others. I don't remember their names. It's whatever. But anyway, nobody really cares about those guys because they're just spouting off horse shit like this. And the reason Donald Trump is rising in the polls is because he says things that actually resonate with people, not just rich corporate donors. Now, I think Donald Trump is a clown. And the reason I say this is because, his slogan is "Let's make America great again," right? And he hasn't really given any details whatsoever on it. Basically, just says, "Oh, trust me, I know what I'm doing. I'm a rich guy, and I am a big success, and I can get it to go." Yeah, he doesn't give any substantive information on how he plans to do that or whatever. So it's just give me a break. It, not gonna happen. So whatever. But the one positive thing he's doing is he's really shaking up this political process. Uh, he is bringing attention. He's saying, "Hey, look, money in politics is a huge problem. I've given money to all of these guys, and they've all done favors for me. They do what I want when I give them money." And he's going against Republican orthodoxy on a number of things and showing, and I think that's ultimately a good thing. Now, there's a lot of bad about Donald Trump too. I think if yeah, honestly, every candidate on the Republican side that we currently have, I don't think a single one of them is suitable to be president. They're all terrible. Now on the Democratic side, okay, really the only two that anyone's paying any attention to are Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders. Okay, and the way those two contrast is Hillary is a standard corporatist establishment Democrat. She's really nothing special. She's another Bill Clinton, another Obama, another all these other things. Just a very calculated politician. And the only reason she's leading right now in the polls is because not everybody knows who Bernie Sanders is or what his policies are. But I think as more and more people hear it, and what has already been the case, he's already leading in a few states where people are more familiar with him. I think as time passes, especially with the Democratic debates coming up, I think he'll rise even more in the national polls. He may get the nod. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be hard for him to get it because Hillary does have way more money to spend than he does. So it's still possible. Who knows? I can't predict the future. But as far as myself goes, I support Bernie Sanders. Out of all the candidates, I think he would be the most suitable. And the reason I say that is because out of all of the candidates, he seems to be really the only one, well, aside from Donald Trump, who's not owned by corporate sponsors. He's the only one who seems to actually give half a crap about the average person. The only one who's actually seems to be willing to do something to help the average person. All these other people are just puppets. And it's obvious. And now Bernie Sanders is a career politician. But if you look back through his history and his record, he's extremely consistent. He's been consistent since day one. He's held these same positions ever since he's been in politics to begin with. So it's not like he's flip flopping and which way is the wind blowing today? Oh, okay, that's what I support now. He's consistent. He has integrity. Hell, I think Donald Trump has integrity compared to a lot of the other politicians, and I'm not a Donald Trump fan even a little bit. But compared to a lot of the other ones, hell, he's better than them. So I don't know. Anyway, I know I usually don't talk about politics, but this was just so blatantly stupid. I couldn't resist. Anyway, that's pretty much going to wrap this thing up. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. As always, if you did like what you see, please thumbs up, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Shaker probably won't. All right, see you guys.